I've spent a lot of money on booze, birds, and fast cars. The rest, I just squandered. George Best. Now, although my life wasn't quite as exciting as George Best during my 20s, I did squander a lot of money. And today, friends, I want to run through 10 things that could be stopping you from either achieving your financial freedom goals or creating future wealth for yourselves and your families. Because let's face it, we are in some seriously turbulent times right now. And if we can just shift a few bad habits into potentially better ones, we stand a much, much higher chance at actually prospering from an economic downturn we are currently in. So let's get started. The first is not succumbing to lifestyle inflation. Now, I only did this for a short amount of time. I was guilty of it before realizing I was just stupid. But lifestyle inflation essentially occurs when you increase your spending as your income goes up, making it more and more difficult to get yourself out of consumer debt, save enough to buy assets, or just get out of that rat race. And we've all been there. But the sinister thing is that once you become totally reliant on your paycheck to have that quality of life and so dependent on that month by month, it becomes a dangerous cycle. So what can we do about it? Well, we need to look at point 2, the 50-30-20 rule. Now, you can have your own percentages, provided of course they're sensible and fit the logic of what I'm about to say. But to keep things simple, take your total income and split that into at least 3 sectors. 50% for essential needs, that's your healthcare, your car, your housing, your home bills, etc. 30% towards your wants, that could be entertainment, booze, girls, that George Best life should you wish, or just ad hoc stuff that is just more of a want than a necessity. And truthfully, you could live without if you had to. And then finally, 20% towards consumer debt or savings towards investments or that rainy day. Now, you can obviously split the 30-20% around, my friends, if you wish. But to start with, this may just be an easier transition. The rule of 3. Now, when I first got a hefty paycheck after graduating, my first inclination was to buy all the things that I could never afford growing up. From designer clothes to a brand new car and lots of tech, I quickly started making major purchases without really thinking twice. And I remember one day on my lunch break, walking to Westfields, and I was listening to a podcast or Audible of some sort. And someone mentioned something about not buying expensive things if you can't afford to buy them a certain number of times. And it instantly resonated with me then. And since that day, I've only ever purchased expensive things that aren't investments if I can afford to buy them 3 times. So my rule is simple. Whether it's laptops, watches, clothes, whatever it is, I need to have enough cash in my bank to be able to get at least 3 of them. Or I tell myself I'm not in a comfortable enough position to warrant buying it. Number 4, direct debit overload. Now, I've had a direct debit problem. I had more direct debits than likes on this video. So friends, if you could do me a favor and sway that a little bit by smashing that like button, it would be greatly appreciated. But in all seriousness, my direct debits were growing monthly. And sometimes I'd even have some that I realized I'd never even used. You know, like those things where you sign up for 5 days or a 7-day free trial, then you get charged because you didn't cancel it. Well, I didn't cancel it. And these tend to mount up. So check your direct debits and remove those unwanted direct debits. Number 5, not learning about money. Now, if you grew up anything like me, you can probably resonate here. I was taught many things. Money is the root of all evil. Rich people have done something dodgy to get where they are. Money also doesn't buy you happiness. Now, I will say I do believe that money doesn't buy you happiness. But the first 2, and let's stick with those, my whole mindset around them was completely wrong. I grew up thinking money was this dirty thing or not worth understanding or learning about. I saw what it did to people around me. It changed people. It made people fight. And I just didn't like that. That was never really something that I spent a lot of time understanding until now. I realized very quickly that you can make money if you offer value. I make money several ways now, and I have in the past, but you can also lose money quickly too. Not just via your spending, but also via things like inflation. So this is where I learned about the next point, my friends, which is really important. But before we jump into point 6, there are some books I would recommend in the description below that may help you learn a little bit more about money. Number 6, not investing earlier. Now, I bought my first property at 25, and in hindsight, I could have probably started a little earlier. Maybe not in property, but at least in ISAs, as the saving rates were much higher back then when I was studying. Or I could have even invested in my own education or personal development. Remember, your biggest asset, my friends, is this. And I can't stress that enough or tell you how little I understood that growing up. I always thought it was some sort of cliche comment in books, but now I know it. I understand it. There's a reason I can, for example, charge £130 per hour, which is mind-boggling, by the way. But there's people out there who charge 5 to 6 figures a day comfortably for their time. And again, this is because of what's up here. Number 7, not utilizing credit cards enough. Now, thankfully, my credit score was always okay, and it was probably down to all those direct debits I took, but I didn't use credit cards as well as I could have. And providing you keep your utilization rates decent and you pay them off each month, you can benefit massively, my friends, from credit cards. You can improve your credit score. You can get perks like air miles, cashback, or other types of rewards depending on the provider that make it almost a no-brainer not to utilize them. Number 8, not having a plan. Now, as with anything in life, you can't get to a destination if you don't know where you want to go, and B, how to get there. So you have to have some plan in mind. If it is to buy a house, work out the costs associated with that, the time frame that you would like to buy it within, and then you need to work backwards and decide on a figure that you can save and put towards that deposit and cost as an example. But without proper planning, you simply won't get to your desired destination. Number 9, not setting up a business earlier. Now, I did a video on 8 reasons you should all be starting a business right now, because there's so many perks like setting up expenses and running a lot of things through it, to learning about yourself and developing skills, important skills that are transferable, and something I highly recommend to everyone. And speaking of recommendations, friends, I want to tell you about Awesome, who are experts in organizing your e-commerce business accounts so you, my friends, don't have to worry about filing company reports or paying your taxes on time, because Awesome accountants take care of all your finance admin through their app. And the best thing is they are always on hand to answer your questions and give advice based on your company accounts. Plus, my friends, you can track your finances while managing your payments and invoices. Yes, all in one place. Awesome is literally like having a finance manager at a low cost, of course, in your back pocket. Also, friends, if you're watching this right now, you can get your company registered and a business account just for £12. So friends, feel free to click the link in my bio and in the pinned comment below and get yourself on Awesome. And finally, number 10, looking to be handheld. Now, humans are inherently lazy, myself included. Even though I work 7 days a week and I work out daily, I would choose sitting down and doing nothing over anything. But thankfully, I've created keystone habits and remain disciplined enough to do things regardless of my emotions and my feelings. But growing up, especially in my early 20s, I was always keen to have my hand held, be that via buying an overpaid course or reading a book like The Secret, wishfully thinking all I had to do was believe in being rich for it to happen.
Yeah, The Secret is a self-help book that Dee read it and explained to us. It's about how you can get whatever you want without having to work for it.
Man, all you have to do is envision all the shit in the world that you want, cut pictures of it out, and paste it on a board, and then you get the stuff.
Or just relying on others to change my fortunes. And this is the worst thing you can do, my friends. The only person who can change your life is you. You may have all the excuses in the world as to why you haven't got to where you want to get to or can't get to right now. But at the end of the day, my friends, the sad truth is you have to hold your own hand through this and you have to be proactive. You want to find something out, Google it. You want to know something, ask someone, text someone, ring someone. You, my friends, have got to do it yourselves. There is no blueprint that you can buy from someone that would change your financial fortunes without you doing the work, unfortunately. So as much as it sucks, it's all on you. And I have faith that you'll do just fine. So drop any comments down below and I look forward to seeing you next time.